The Strike 1. Let's check it out. The Strike 1 was introduced 2016 at SHOT Show. Generated a lot of excitement, and a lot of that had to do with the Bergmann recoiling system. It's a very flat shooting gun. It allows for the barrel to stay linear instead of like the old John Browning design, which has the tilt barrel. And so you have a much thinner slide. But it makes it super fast because of the quick lockup. It's very low in the hand, so the bore axis is one of the best out on the market, which again allows for even flat shooting. And then with that more of a fixed barrel type design, it gives it really good accuracy. Now these were designed by Arsenal, Italy, and these were made for the Russian military trials. And while they didn't quite make the cut, it's reportedly been used by a number of Spetsnaz units and operators. It's again, very flat shooting, just a very innovative type firearm. And I love when we see good innovation and stepping away from traditional lines. Now it's back, 2023, and guys, this has been one that a lot of people have been excited about. You will notice that it's very similar to the Archon B, which is actually an Arsenal USA made gun, but it's produced in Germany and Hungary. This is an all-Italian firearm. Now I was pretty excited when American Precision Firearms got in touch because I've really been wanting to get my hands on one of these. And guys, I was not disappointed. The Arsenal Italy Strike 1. Polymer frame, striker fire pistol. There are a blue bazillion different polymer frame striker fire pistols out on the market. But this one's different. Definitely there are some things about this pistol that set it apart. Now from the exterior, there's definitely some differences right up front. And this cut right here is one that you'll notice immediately. And you've seen that on the Archon B, which is imported by Arsenal USA. Those pistols are made in Germany and Hungary. This is an Italian-made firearm made at the Tanfoglio plant in Italy. But it's actually a Russian-Italian design. And these again were designed to meet the Russian military testing for a sidearm. There was no decision made, and a lot of people have really taken notice of the Strike 1. And guys, there is an excellent video about the manufacturing of this pistol that Larry Vickers did from Vickers Tactical a few years ago. And I'm going to have it annotated right here. It really gives you an insight on this pistol. And the Strike 1 is imported by American Precision Firearms. Now Strike 1 does produce the double barrel 1911, which is really a handful. Obviously it's like two 1911s were melded together. And that really brought a lot of attention to the Strike 1. It's called the Striz in Russian, which means swift for bird. And probably one of the lowest bore axes on the market. There is the Largo Alien, which is going to be a very strong competitor, but guys, overall, this is definitely a super low bore axis. We're going to talk about the advantages of that. We're going to compare it to some other guns, but the biggest thing is this internal system. The recoiling system is called the speed lock system, and it's actually taken from the old Bergmann system. It goes away from the John Browning design, and it allows this gun to get really low into the frame. And that's one of the big pluses. First off, let's make sure the gun is unloaded. We're going to drop our 17+1 magazine. Check the chamber, and it's empty. It does come with an additional magazine, so you've got two. One thing though about this pistol is that it will accept CZ75 magazines. The Arsenal Italy magazines run about $40, $45. You get a CZ, those run about $20 to $25. So different base plates for sure, but this is great to have extra mags. And fits right in here, slide holds back. I mean, it's just great to have this addition. But the polymer base plate on the Strike 1 is longer and it fits up closer and butts up to the frame. Polymer frame, very well done grip, very well designed. We have large and small circles right here that are raised. Here at the back we have these cross lines, a lot of texturing here. The same here on the front strap. But here at the back, these are just straight up and down serrations. And one of the things about it is when you grip a pistol, front and back is the most important. That's what gives you the control of the pistol. And so this keeps the gun from rocking back and forth under recoil. With this at the bottom, this keeps it from sliding around in your hand. So it gives you a very firm grip and it's just well-rounded. The grip itself is a very thought-out design. Magazine release right here. There is a guard to keep you from inadvertently hitting that mag release. Your slide stops right here, takedown pins here, and then we have a 7-slot Picatinny rail. It's going to give you a lot of real estate. There's texturing here on the front of the trigger guard, and it's enlarged to allow for gloved hands. And you can switch this mag release to the other side. There is a shelf, you'll notice here, and this is for recoil management where you can just place your thumb, and especially on that high grip, and you're able just to control the recoil a little better. But the one thing about this pistol is it has a super low bore axis, and that is really the big plus for this gun. You can see how it comes up like this, and guys, I'm telling you, that is incredible. Just imagine if you're holding the gun down here, when you fire the pistol, how much it's going to rock. I mean, almost uncontrollably, because the metal is, and the steel slides going back like this, and it's just going to jerk your hand. The higher up you get closer to that slide, the more you can control the movement when you're firing. And that's a big deal. And so getting that up there high, it just helps. So that's one of the big things. But the reason why they can get this so close is they have what they call the speed lock recoiling system. And it's based on the Bergman system. And we're going to look at that in a minute. In fact, I'm going to break this down in just a few minutes because it's really important for you to see how this functions and how this allows for the slide to be so low in the frame. I want to give you a little comparison. We brought out the Glock Model 17. This is Gen 5 MOS version. And then we have the Steyr M9A1. This has a really low bore axis as well. You can see how it really comes down. And guys, I've always loved this handgun. It shoots really well, and that bore axis is very low. But let's compare it to the Strike 1. If you take the bottom of the beaver tail and you line it up, you can see how much higher the Steyr comes up. And really, the slides themselves are about the same height. But this much of the frame is actually increasing the bore axis. And then here, it's a very short distance. In fact, it's only 12 millimeters. And here with the Glock, you can see that it is higher, even though the Glock typically has a low bore axis. Now, the Strike 1 at this point does not have slide cuts for red dot optics, but they do have a mount that will replace the sight, and you can run red dots if you want to. But I'm sure that's something that Arsenal Italy is going to be working on. Now, with the slide, it is a nickel finish, and it's a satin finish. Beautiful finish, but they have a black finish as well, and they have a lot of other colors and different things that you can choose from. And there's a bunch of different models. And this is the Speed model, which is an upgrade from just a basic Strike 1. But you're going to get all the same characteristics of the mechanism. Now, of course, the outside, you see this cut right here, so it has a different look to it just right up front. The slide serrations, very well done, front and rear. It is a full-size pistol. In fact, it's got a 5-inch barrel. But now they are making the new compact model this year. They're also adding a 10 millimeter version and 357 SIG. One of the things about this design and this pistol, it was made again to compete with the Russian military trials. And the Russian sidearm round is the 9x19, which has a lot of the same ballistics as the 357 SIG. So it's going to be able to take really hot loads. And so with 9mm, that's not a problem. Now if you notice here at the top, right under the beaver tail, there's a small little section that narrows down. And if you'll look at the web of your hand, you have this little V that's shaped in there. When you put this to it, it actually fills in that V shape, and it allows you to get a better grip on the pistol. And you don't even feel it. I can't even tell as I lift this and put it in my hand. It just gives me more of control over the grip. But I really was concerned that it may wear on my hand, but we had no problems. You don't even know that it's there, but yet it's going to benefit in just allowing that to fit in that one area. We have an adjustable sight on the rear with a serration blacked out, and then here at the front we have fiber optics. Dovetailed in, this is a proprietary sight. They are working on a Gen 2 that will be compatible with your Glock sights. And then the rear sight is Glock compatible already. But of course, fiber optics with that black background, it makes a really good sight picture. Black slide plate, but you'll notice right there the silver dot, as you pull the trigger, it disappears. That's your cocked striker indicator. It is not a loaded chamber indicator, but it just lets you know that the gun is cocked. We have a depression coming down and you have your extractor. Barrel's highly polished, it has a slight crown, it is stainless steel. Now, because the recoil system is so unique, we want to look at that first. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to disassemble the firearm. We've removed the magazine. The chamber is empty. Bring back your slide about 1/4 inch. Right here is your takedown pin. Just push it through. It comes out, but it is retained in the frame. And then as the slide comes forward, pull the trigger and then pull the slide right off. Recoil spring and guide rod. It is stainless steel and it does have the flat recoil spring. Now this is where things get different, and right here we have our locking block, and it is a Y shape. This is very unique, and then here bring out our barrel, and it's definitely different than what we've been seeing. This is again very closely related to the Bergman system, but it is what they call the speed lock, and so it fits right down in here, and you can see where the takedown pin runs through this. Now here we have it mounted onto the frame with the pin pushed through. And as the gun fires, it just moves. You can see the locking block shift, just like that. It is a linear motion. But what's also important is how short of a distance it moves. Now I'm bringing the barrel up a little bit, and it doesn't typically run that way. It runs right parallel to the frame. I mean, this is a very impressive system. And this is going to make this gun shoot really fast because the lockup is so quick. And then because it is a low in the frame slide system, it's just going to keep that bore axis super low. Typically with the John Browning design, you have a tilt in the barrel and you need that extra space in your slide. And so that's one of the reasons why they can keep this down so short. The slide rails are really generous. It's going to give you really good slide to frame fit. It is a stainless steel chassis, and I heard someone say that this was 70-75 T6 aluminum, which would really be a problem this thin. But just for demonstration, it is definitely steel. This is really going to give you a very smooth glide on the slide to frame fit. Here at the back is your trigger safety, but I want you to watch how that functions. So when you're pulling the trigger, and we're going to look at trigger pull, it comes back just like that. That's a pretty cool looking system. You'll also notice that there is a small ramp right here. And if you look at the barrel, there's very little feed ramp. And that's because it's actually built into the frame itself. And that's another reason why they can get this so low into the frame. Here we have the striker assembly and the interior of the slide, and it's just very well done. So guys, while it is a different system, it's not complicated and it's very simple to assemble and disassemble. So we're going to put our barrel back in. One thing about the speed lock system is it only goes one way. And so when you lock it in fact, if you try to turn it the other way, it just won't quite fit. Take our recoil spring and guide rod and then bring it back over the frame, and you want to bring it back and you can look and see where it just opens up and then you pop it in. Very simple system. And we have a flat face trigger. There's no trigger safety with the trigger like we see on a lot of polymer frame pistols. But here we've got some take up, very short take up, right to here, a little bit of resistance, and guys, a really nice tactile audible brake. Reset right there. Resets really fast too. We have trigger pull weight with our Lyman trigger gauge from Brownells. 4 pounds, 8.1 ounces. 3 pounds, 10.9 ounces. So around 4 pounds. Now when it gets to the standard models, you're going to have a little bit heavier trigger pull. This is made for speed. Thus, speed. Of course, Italy, and this pistol was made in 2022. American Precision Firearms is who imports it. They're out of Miami, Florida. Again, this is the speed model. Here on the other side, we have Arsenal, Italy for IA and the crest. Weight on the AF Strike 1, 2 pounds, 0.2 ounces. We really appreciate Fiocchi for sponsoring the ammo, all made in the USA, one of the largest suppliers of ammunition in the country. Also Lula Loaders for help saving our thumbs. The Strike 1 just has a very unique look to it. This cut at the front of the slide, this super low bore axis, this small little part right here that allows you just to naturally put it around the web of your hand. It's just such a unique looking gun, and it shoots very flat. You know, this one's made in Italy, but I'm loving how that companies are coming out and being very innovative with recoil and with the way you handle your firearms. It just gives you more confidence. I mean, man, that thing just so quick on the trigger. Just a smooth shooting gun. Guys, we live in the golden age of firearms, and this is one of those that proves it. Now the retail price on the Strike 1 is $799. Of course, market price will vary and typically be less. The speed model retails for $1,149. Has a lot to do with the trigger, the slide cuts that are all through this handgun, the upgraded sights. The standard Strike 1 comes with just basic 3-dot sights. But they do make a number of other models, threaded barrels, different configurations, different cuts. Again, this company does produce the double barrel 1911, which is a feat of engineering all on its own. Again, they do have a compact model that's coming out this year, a 10mm, a 357 SIG, and it's going to be really great to see those with this recoiling system. I mean, it's very unique. And so the pros and cons, definitely a very innovative design, low recoil, low bore axis, very well engineered grip, very nice trigger, very accurate pistol. Beautiful finish inside and out. As far as cons go, we'd really like some optics cuts right up here. Of course, this is a large pistol, but with the new compact model, that's going to be nice to have just a little bit of a smaller gun for concealed carry. But otherwise, this is really an excellent design, and one that it's been really awesome to experience, just to be honest. I love when they have innovation that's new and it changes the game, and it gives us something, not just a different grip angle or different sights or different serrations on the slide, but it actually gives us a whole new system that has big advantages. These have been around for a while, and guys, when we were shooting, we had 0 malfunctions. It just ran like a top, and it is fast to shoot. So guys, if you're looking for a really flat shooting, very unique firearm that has a lot of innovation, the low bore axis, the very fast lockup, so it makes it really quick to shoot. Just the Italian quality that goes into these firearms. Check out the Strike 1. And again, there are a number of different models out there, and there are more to come. So we're really excited about the Strike 1 stepping away from those Browning tilt barrel designs to something that's actually a lot more efficient and something that really just changes the game. And again, we really appreciate APF, or American Precision Firearms, for sending the Strike 1 for this review. Guys, it is a joy to take this out to the range. The low recoil, the low muzzle rise, the super low bore axis, and it's super fast to shoot. I mean, this thing is an experience all in itself. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. Now here on the frame, you'll notice that it has this section right here. And when I first saw that, I was like, what? It's because it steps away from the brown Johning design. That's a really weird design, but it's probably his cousin. In Italy, with a joint Russian-Italian collaboration. Strike 1 was introduced to SHOT Show. Jeez. Then they came back in 2013. I don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. And we'll talk a little bit more about, okay, now. And this is produced, okay. There have been reports that the Spetsnaz has been using the Strike 1 or the Strieg. The Strieg.